All right, I had to take a break there for a little bit and load up the next 15 minutes of the video, which will be part two. So we won't go from the beginning. We'll get to where we left off. Why do some people earn different money? Like we said, different wages. It's because of supply and demand. Supply and demand is way different. Okay, we talked about that. Our money wages, our money benefits the only thing that matter when you get a job, when you have a job, when you're looking for a job, when you have an opportunity to go to another job. Is it all that matters? Money wages, the answer is not always. How many times do you see NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball players go from one job to the next stating it's a business, I have to provide for my family. They leave a team to go to another team because of money. And then they end up going and they lose every game and they're totally unhappy. Yeah, they got all the money in the world, but you know how it goes. Money can't always and is not always the only thing that brings satisfaction in labor. A higher income is not the only thing that matters or should matter necessarily. This is more philosophical on my part. Then it's not the only thing that matters. So you might be making $10 million a year and your job might absolutely suck. And so therefore you think to yourself, well, I'm not sure if this is really worth it for me. I might take a pay cut. You see a lot of people that do that, where they're unhappy in their situation, their work environment, the people that they're with, maybe their benefits, their health care, maybe the working conditions are just really hot and sweaty and horrible, and maybe it's a long drive into work, all those things. So money benefits are not the only thing that matter in a job. Other things that influence are the people you work with. That can make a big difference. If you work with a bunch of doorknobs, it might be time to go find a different job. Or maybe if you don't mind that you work with a whole bunch of doorknobs, then obviously you're going to stay there. Sometimes the distance between home and work is crazy. You know, I mean, I had a friend of mine who was a lawyer, and he had to go in and out from work in Los Angeles. It was a 2-hour trip every day. So he'd work at an 8 to 10 hour day and have to go 2 hours in and 2 hours home. By that time, it was a 14-hour day. You get 2 hours to spend with your family, and then you got to go to bed and wake up and do the whole thing all over again. That didn't make him happy. He made a lot of money, so he quit his job. Guess what he became? A pastor. You know, so whatever. So the distance between home and work can matter, your travel time. I live, 4 blocks away from school here. I certainly enjoy the fact that I can wake up at 7:15 and get to school at 7:25. And that's fully ready, showered, and on the road. And then vacation. How much vacation are you going to get? I mean, there are a lot of things that do matter that aren't money when you're looking for a job. Here's a very easy formula. The benefits of a job or working of labor are the monetary benefits plus the non-monetary benefits. That'll work with your overall satisfaction too. So here you go. Demand for a good and demand for wage rates. This is referred to as derived demand, and you can see it right there. Derived demand. There are certain times of the year where certain products are needed more than others. Certainly not a fireworks company is not going to be making lots and lots of fireworks for New Year's Eve. Not usually. A lot of companies will have a lot going on at Christmas time because that is the giving season. So cards, mailmen, dolls. We had a bunch of people that used to sell dolls. You know that you're gonna work more at Christmas time. I don't know, what's life like for the James J. Chocolate Factory? You're not selling as much during for 4th of July as you are for Easter and for Valentine's Day and Christmas. So when the demand for a product decreases, then the demand for employment also decreases. They go in the same direction. When the demand for a product increases, then the demand for more employment will increase too. That's why you have more seasonal workers. In some places where they grow fruits and vegetables, they don't need people working at the fruit and vegetables out in the fields in November and December, as opposed to March, April, May, June, July, and August. They're going to need more people working out into in the fields. James J., same thing. American Girl Doll Factory, same thing. More people around certain times means you're gonna more work around certain times of the year means you're gonna have more labor. How much are you gonna earn? Well, that's up to you. I mean, a lot of it's gonna matter upon how good of a worker you are, what kind of an education you have, what kind of job you get. Those are a lot of different things. So wage rate right here, wage rate for different occupations will vary. A lot of different things will impact how much money you get paid. So your wage rate or your salary, here at Lakeside, I get paid a salary. I work unlimited amounts of hours and I get paid a certain amount of money. So I don't get paid for a 40-hour week. And if you've seen what some of the teachers do around here, a lot of teachers will work a 40 or a 50 or, depending on the season, a 60 or a 70-hour week. It all depends. One things that dictates the wage rate, your salary, is the demand for your labor. If there is a great demand and a low supply, your salary will be up. If there's a low demand and a great supply, chances are your salary will be lower. Even though there is a great demand for a certain laborer, does not mean that the wage rate will be high. I think in the education field, there's a great demand for quality teachers. The salary is not all that high. However, I've never missed a meal. So two factors that make the demand for your labor services high are the demand for the good you produce. I mean, you know, if you're producing something that nobody buys, good luck in there being any demand for a job to do that. And the other thing that will dictate the demand for your labor services is your productivity. How hireable are you? How much do you get done? Are you lazy and don't do a lot of stuff and you sit around and you find yourself getting in trouble? You have to be told what to do. Well, your productivity, you're not going to be very hireable. Your productivity can be influenced by a lot of different factors. Some people are naturally better at other things. You know, if you're naturally good at numbers, or you're naturally good at science, or you're naturally good at this or that, chances are you're going to be more likely to get a job and have a greater demand for your labor. Your education. What is your level of education? Did you complete high school? Did you not complete high school? Do you have a master's degree? Do you have a doctorate? Do you have just a regular bachelor's degree? You know, and even then, you don't necessarily have to have an education to get a great job. In some cases, what level of training have you had? Have you had a level of training that might not have been at a traditional 4-year college or tech school, or, you know, plumbers, carpenters, woodworkers, road construction, all have relatively high demand for their services, but they have a very specific training. And if you don't have the training or the education or the ability to have a certain job, and your productivity is low and there's a low demand, well, the demand for your labor is going to be very low. Demand is not the only factor that influences your potential earnings. It also will dictate, what dictates it is the supply of qualified people. If there are a lot of qualified people that are looking for this specific job, that will dictate the wages too. So there are a lot of qualified people that are out there to work at a gas station. That'll dictate the wages. There are not that many qualified people that are out there that are brain surgeons. lawyers, doctors, social workers. That'll dictate the wages too. You can see some of the occupation outlook. This is from 2008 to 2018. You can see the percentage of growth. This number represents the percentage of growth of these certain labors, types of labor. Biomedical engineers, network systems, data communications analysts. You can look at it the same as I can. I don't want to waste your time. I want to get through another slide. You can look at it, athletic trainers, biochemic, all that stuff. The government and minimum wage. Big argument going on in the United States as it is right now. How much should the minimum wage be? As of 2009, the minimum wage was $7.25 an hour. Most times it goes up 25 cents. Rarely does it go up by almost doubling. I believe minimum wage is $7.75 as it is right now. So the minimum wage was passed at the first time during the Great Depression, way back in the 1930s and 40s, maybe even the first Great Depression. And this minimum wage can be lowered or raised based on the equilibrium wage rate for a particular occupation. But the government will establish a minimum wage, the absolute lowest amount that a person can get paid anywhere in any job. You have two different types of wages. You have money wages and real wages. A money wage is the amount of money that you make per hour. $10 an hour, $9 an hour, $7 an hour, $50,000 a year, $1 million a year. That is your money wage. That's also known as your nominal. Nominal or money wage. Measuring how much a person's money can buy, that is referred to as the real wages. And it's kind of an interesting. Make sure you read the sections. Make sure you read the sections on money wage, nominal wage, real wage. From year to year, you might be able to buy less with your money based on the prices of goods and still make more money. So if I make $50,000 a year, but the price of everything goes up, I might actually be able to buy less things than I did the year before when I made $48,000 a year. So if the rate at which prices go up is lower, or if the rate at which prices go up is greater than the rate at which your wage goes up, then that puts us into something that's called inflation. We'll talk about that a little later on. A person's money wage can rise while his or her real wage actually falls. And like I said down here, this happens when the price of goods increase more than the price of wages. So remember, money wage and nominal wage is how much you get paid. Real wage is how much you can actually purchase with the money that you make. One way which we can figure out your real wage and your money wage and how much you can buy is based on this thing called the Consumer Price Index. The Consumer Price Index is computed annually. I'm going to get out of this and show you a web page that has the CPI on it. This is an inflation calculator. This inflation calculator will tabulate data from 1913 to 2006. The base year of this baby is right here. The base year is chained. So it's between 1982 and 1984, where the base rate was 100. Okay? So you look at where we are, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, where we're at right now is 237.11. And we'll get into some information on that in a